Hi, I'm Bridget Danner with Hormone Detox Shop, and this is my friend and colleague Erin Nielsen from the Youth Method. Some of you may know Erin, some of you may know me. Now you know us both. Erin, would you mind just telling everybody a little bit about yourself, your business, and how you got into doTERRA?
Sure, yeah. So I started my business about 3 years ago, and the youth method is just centered around basically helping women realize that they don't have to fall apart at 40. Our life isn't over at 40, so there's a lot of beautiful ways to slow down the aging process, which I teach, which is nutrition, really healing movements, and then adopting a non-toxic lifestyle, which is where doTERRA fits into beautifully. So I love talking about essential oils.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll share a little bit about my background too. Yeah, Erin and I are a little similar. We both went from a physical clinic type of background. She was a PT, I was an acupuncturist, to going online. I'm not sure your motivations, Erin, but I know mine. What were
I
yours?
can tell you those after you're done.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted the flexibility of working from home, like providing patient care, and some of you may be healthcare providers, is rewarding, but it's also pretty draining, and the hours are long, and I work on the evenings and I work Saturdays, and I wasn't making a ton of money. So it was like sort of looked good on paper, but was in reality like not the most rewarding career in some ways. And I was taking in resources online, like attending summits. I had an online coach, and I was like, I really want this world. So I was very slow. Little by little, I was building my online presence while I still had my clinic, and then finally sold my clinic almost 2 years ago now. So yeah, and then I've only been in doTERRA. Erin and I started around the same time about a year ago, kind of for similar reasons too. We both saw that essential oils fit well into our businesses. I teach about hormone balance and detox, and I just was loving the oils. I had been using them with doTERRA a couple years before I started as a business. So, what were your reasons for going online?
So my biggest reason was my main job was physical therapy. So I was doing that also in a clinic. And I started to see probably like the last 5 years, it's actually a pretty huge part of my story and my why, is I was going through a lot of struggles myself physically and even mentally, with some depression and anxiety. And some of my patients were going through the same thing. So I started making a lot of changes along with treating their pain in myself and also in my patients, and started seeing amazing improvements. And I was like, all right, I can't just do this in a PT clinic. I want to bring this to more people and to a broader audience. And part of it too was what you explained. I had been a PT for 17 years at that point. So things were changing. They were expecting more and more from you in shorter amounts of time. And so that pressure was there too. So it was really both of those reasons. I wanted to really reach more people.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the way you're practicing changes, right? Like even as an acupuncturist, like that's pretty progressive or whatever, also very old. But what I was learning about functional medicine, like wasn't really a fit anymore because I was still being paid, like $50 by insurance to put acupuncture needles in people. But yet I was like reading their lab work and like prescribing supplements and like this is not a match
Right.
anymore. So you
Yes.
needed more freedom. I see one person has their hand up. Sometimes people get their hands up on accident, so I'm not sure. I would say if you have a question, write it in the chat. Chat is lower right, or it's on the participants page. There's a little chat button. But we'll take a lot of questions at the end as well. So I'm going to start sharing the slides. There aren't that many
Yeah,
slides.
you guys can just write questions as we go. We might not get to them right away, but we'll try to get to them definitely by the end if we haven't gotten to them already.
Yeah, and this is a pretty big picture, but if you want to ask specific things, like this happened on our last webinar, what's the minimum order, that kind of thing, we'll definitely take that as well. But I would say our main focus is to kind of give you an overview of what it's like for a doTERRA business, who's in it, what's it a little bit like. And if you want to know more, you just will schedule a private time to talk with Erin or myself. That's kind of how the model we're doing, because we really want you to understand well what you're getting into before you get into it. Understanding the compensation, understanding like time requirements, that kind of a thing. So we kind of will do more of that privately. So we kind of already talked about this, but if you want our websites, those are down there. Okay, so why doTERRA? You know, there's a lot of reasons why people get into the business of doTERRA. Erin and I explained some of that just now. You know, some, for a big picture, some people just love this wellness lifestyle and they know they want to share it with more people. Maybe they're in a career that doesn't mesh with that, or maybe they already are. And like Erin and I kind of wanted to add that tool. Many people have just had good experiences with the oils. Sam was saying he just loves the oils. Yeah, I mean, was the tipping point for me too. Like, I was using the oils and then I used these 3 oils for digestion and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to share these. So I think sometimes there's a story that does that. Yeah, some people are looking also, like we shared, for kind of a change. I mean, anything, if you want, a lot of people want to go in the health space, but actually don't really know how to make money in the health space. It's not that easy in some regards. So I think selling a physical product does make it easier because it's something people can relate to. Yeah, definitely is a chance for income and flexibility. Like Erin and I are both working from home. We both travel to conferences. And then the last piece is really about community. This is a piece I didn't talk much about on our previous webinar, but doTERRA is a huge community of people and there's lots of events. I was just on a call this morning and I think there are 100,000 doTERRA wellness advocates in the world.
You guys, when I went to my first doTERRA conference in Salt Lake was it September or November? I can't even remember now. And I was like, someone asked me how many people were going to be there. And I think I gave this ridiculously low number, like, oh, I don't know, like maybe 1,000 people. Like, I don't know. I had no idea because I'd never been before. There were so many people and the community was so much fun. Like, I had no idea at all.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Where that conference is selling again now, and actually anyone can attend. You don't have to be a wellness advocate. If you want to ask me about that offline, it's in Utah in September. I think it said they were selling 11,000 tickets, but I also thought Marisa said last year there was like 30,000 people there. So
yeah, I think there was 30,000 people there last year. I had no idea. So
okay.
The community is so large and there's so many, like it says on the slide, so many like-minded people because they all are believing in these oils and that there are natural ways to heal our bodies, which is such a lovely thing to be able to talk to people about because some people don't understand those things yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And you might say, oh, there's already too many people doing doTERRA, but doTERRA is growing like crazy, still in the US and very much in other countries. So if you have any connections in other countries, you're in a good spot right now. There's like 6 billion people in the world or something.
Yeah. 7 billion, I think.
7 billion. Okay. So it's growing in China. It's growing in Brazil. Like it's growing. So, and as we'll talk about, some people are more into doTERRA for the community and not much building the business. And some people are very much building the business.
And there's some really new, exciting things that doTERRA is doing. Bridget, I don't even know if we can talk about them yet, but just some really fun, exciting things that doTERRA is just like.
With the clinics, you mean?
Yeah. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, go for it.
Maybe you should talk about it because I think you heard more about it than I did. I watched the replay call, but I don't know if I captured as much, but I'm so excited about that because that wasn't going on that I know about when we joined. So
okay, how about really I'll answer that, and if you can check the chat because I think there's somebody there and I can't see it very well from here once I go to the slides. So yeah, they're called Meridian Healthcare Clinics, and they're these integrated clinics where you can, see a primary care physician and get medication and whatever is needed, but you can also be prescribed essential oil. So it's just kind of a more integrated experience. It's sort of built like I don't think it replaces your primary insurance, but it's not very much. It's like,
no, it's very inexpensive.
Yeah, it's like $200 a month for a family of 4 or something like that to have this unlimited healthcare at these clinics, and then you pay like a small like $20 when you go in. All the appointments are 30 to 60 minutes, so they're not quick. There's one opening here in Phoenix. There's one, I think, already open in Utah. It's
Yeah,
just more like an example of what doTERRA is up to. Like, they have a pretty big vision of disrupting healthcare.
that's what I'm excited about because you know, the conventional doctors, I think there's a huge value for conventional doctors. I still go to one, but I just love it that we're going to have the option of getting those other opinions and ways to look at medicine. So I'm super excited about it.
Awesome. Cool.
So the question was, and I don't even know this, Bridget, it says doTERRA means of the earth, which I did know that in Portuguese. Are the founders Brazilian?
Oh, in Portuguese, I think that's also Latin. So that's why. No, the founders are from Utah, but I think doTERRA is also like Latin, above the earth. But that's really cool. So someone knows Portuguese, so they have another in for another country. That's awesome. Okay, so a little bit about who is in doTERRA, and it's really a pretty wide range, which I really enjoy. You know, there's retired physicians, there's mental health care folks, there's moms, and, you know, people doing it as like a side thing. There's definitely massage therapists, yoga teachers, people doing it like for veterinary work. So, you know, it kind of meshes with most everything, huh, Erin?
Yeah, and I like really talking about this a lot because I get the question a lot from the youth method community of they're very nervous to join because they think that they have to be like me and have an online presence. You don't have to be there, like the list shows you, and even if you don't know a lot of thing about oils yet, people get very nervous. Well, I don't know about oils. How can I become an advocate? You're learning along the way. I mean, when I decided to become an advocate, I really only knew maybe about a handful of oils that helped me personally, and I was super passionate about, but I didn't know about all the oils. So I like to really explain to people that, one, you don't need to be an online influencer, and two, you don't need to know about all the oils yet. You just need to be passionate about it. And that's how you
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, you can look things up. I mean, people don't want you to be like an encyclopedia. They just usually have specific questions like, what treats this, what treats that, and you will get some curveballs. People seem to always ask, well, is this going to make my cat sick, or is this? That's like very common. And you'll get some questions you don't know, like, oh, how do I treat, you know, Crohn's disease or something, which technically we shouldn't be treating anyways, but, you know, you might want to say, okay, well, let me step back and like learn some oils to support digestion or
Right.
inflammation. You can look stuff up. And, you know, I did get one comment once that said, oh, you know, people should be more trained, but I think the idea is kind of taking health back into people's hands. You know, people can buy these same oils over the counter. So getting some degree of education from a person that you buy them with is great. And you're just where you're at. And as time goes by, you'll know more and more. But mostly you'll be sharing with friends, you'll be sharing with family, and they're not going to grill you too much.
No, and even if you get one of those people that just wants to be a smart, you know, whatever you want to say, you can always just say, let me look that up for you. That's a great question. You know, there's no reason to feel put on the spot or like you have to know everything all at once. And honestly, it doesn't happen a lot because I don't even think it's happened to me once. And I've done quite a few presentations. So
Yeah. Okay, so that's a little bit about that. Oops. So these are some more like a little bit about doTERRA, a little bit about the oils, a little bit about finances, and also just the values of the company. So doTERRA oils, you know, some people say, oh, why are they so much more expensive? It's kind of because of this quality standard, you know, and the values. Like, they really partner with farmers. They know their farmers. They support their farmers. These oils are third-party tested for impurities. They can be used internally. They made their own certification, which is called CPTG. I kind of wish could just be organic because it would be simpler. But many of the things they harvest are worldwide, and some of them are just like harvested from the wild. So you can't really certify organic something that's harvested that way. And there's lots more information on the CPTG. This is something I really grilled my upline about when I joined, because my whole business is built on non-toxic living.
Me
And I was like, I want to understand this certification. And I feel good about it. So
too.
quality is really important. The company, this is a little bit of an old document. The company is 10 years old now, and it's a $10 billion company, which is pretty crazy. Again, growing really fast. Says here sales in 110 countries. That may be bigger now. Yeah. And then go ahead.
Well, I just want to jump in really quick. People often ask me why I chose doTERRA over some of the other brands. And one of the two biggest reasons were the certified therapeutic grade oils, the pure therapeutic grade. I really love that testing that is extra from other companies. And then I really, which I think you were just going to get into, or maybe I'm not sure, was really their philanthropic efforts. I'm so impressed with what they do behind the scenes that most people don't know until you're part of the company. The Healing Hands Foundation, I'm so impressed with that, is literally what made me pick doTERRA.
Nice. Yeah, it's very special. If you go to the convention, which, you can, they spend like half the time talking about all their charities all over the world. They just love it. So they're building schools, they're helping, girls stay in school. They're helping women get out of sex trafficking, which is like pretty crazy.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's really great what they do, and you become kind of a part of it as a wellness advocate. Some of the rewards trips are to like go see, like I know you can go see the sandalwood farm in Hawaii, or so it's pretty cool. You can go see the farms yourself, and then you can really know the quality. If they're spraying Roundup all over the place, there's something wrong with that.
Not good.
Oops. Hold on. Okay. Oh, I didn't update these slides. We have the same bonuses now. This is April. But if you'd like to become a wellness advocate, Erin and I would like to give you some things to get started. There's something called Class in the Box, which lets you teach your first class with all these materials. And then a keychain vial, which lets you kind of have oils on the go in your purse or your man bag, so that you can share them with people when you're out or use them for yourself. I took forever to fill my keychain thing, but now I'm like so addicted to it. It's really just a nice way to share oils and make sure you're like using them all the time. Because if you're going to be advocating for the company, for your own business, you want to just be using them, right? You want to like demonstrate that you use them. And when somebody's has a cold, that you whip out your On Guard and share it with them, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's nice having them with you at all times, and that's an easy way to do it. And I usually carry my 3 favorite oils. In that Class in a Box that she showed, that comes with my favorite oil, which was Wild Orange. It's one of my all-time favorites. It comes with 10 little mini ones. So those are really great to always have with you. And then your vials and your little keychain. It's just great. You can have your favorite oil. So if you happen to be talking to someone and they have a question, you can be like, this is my favorite oil. And they can actually experience it right there, which is really nice. Because that's how people fall in love with the oils, is when they get to experience them.
Yeah, you can also carry little like sample, like little envelopes of Deep Blue around with you, that kind of a thing. So it's just, we in doTERRA, if you ever come to an event, they really talk about sharing. It's not selling, it's sharing. And that is true in that, like, if you end up getting a customer, it's probably going to be different points where you share until they say yes. So you're sharing the oil, you're sharing some education, and then they see the value in getting an account. So yeah. So I'm going to show this slide next. This is our links, but how are you going to click on them? It's like impossible. So
I can click on them. You're just going to have to.
So I will copy them and put them in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a kind of short presentation today to kind of open it up to questions. No bad questions. Just go ahead, and I'm going to actually, there are some more comments that I couldn't see. I'm going to stop sharing and copy these links over. Erin, do you want to?
Okay, so Lisa's asking, how do we get the bonuses? So the bonuses, Lisa, are for someone that's signing up, that would be signing up after seeing this webinar. So since you're already signed up.
But I did send you a book, Lisa. Did you get it?
Yes.
You did
So, but Lisa, if you want either of those items, the class in a box, like I didn't even know about the class in the box when I signed on. So I bought the class in a box afterwards, and I highly recommend it. It's got some nice, like manuals in there to kind of explain how to do your first class. Because I know you haven't done one yet, but I know we're planning on having you do that. And then I love the little, how big are those wild orange? Are they 10 milliliters?
5.
5. So they're little mini ones, which are great because you can bring them around. Yes, they are on the website, Lisa. So you can actually search class in a box and it'll come up. And same with the keychain.
Yeah, and I just send those direct from doTERRA to my new builders. And we also do training. Again, we don't throw people in. Like, we just ask you to speak with us first, understand the business better first. We want it to be a mutually beneficial relationship. There's also a little bit of a structural decision, like where do you want to be on the team? So I don't have a slide for this. I'll have to get one, or maybe I can find one quickly. There's sort of like 3 kinds of builders. There's people who just share and occasionally enroll a customer, and that's great. And there's people who want to make, money to buy their oils for free, so to speak, or make a few $100 extra a month. Mm-hmm. And that's great too. And then there's kind of the third level of people who really want to build it as a business. And we all start from the same place, right? Enrolling that first customer, having a first class. But if it's your goal to, replace your income with doTERRA, or have it be half your income, or even retire your husband, which is like one of my goals, there is a lot of potential in doTERRA. doTERRA, I've just learned this from leadership conference I was at. It's a backloaded program. So you don't make a lot of money up front. And I used to regret that, so to speak, and think, oh, that's how am I going to get people? But I think it's kind of fair, because it's like you pay your dues kind of learning how to do the business. And as you stick with it and you train other people, that's when doTERRA really rewards you. And, the financial gain can be crazy high in doTERRA if you stick with it long enough. So we're happy to talk more about like some of the financial stuff. But yeah,
it all depends on how much time you're spending on it at first too. So right. There are some people that spend full-time work on it right away, and the money starts coming in much more quickly for those people. But if you're just working it a little bit at first, then that, the money is going to come in a little slower. It just depends on what you're putting into it.
Right. Depends on your time and your pace. When I was at leadership, there was a girl there who said she hit diamond level in doTERRA within a year. So she was making, easily 10 grand a month within a year. Yeah. Now, is that common? No. She was working it. She was hustling. She was
working it. And that's what it's all about. It's really like what you want to put into it. So it's up to you, which is fun. And that's what I love about it, because it's really what you want to put into it and how much time you have to put into it and how much you want to put into it. So,
yeah. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about community. So our team is pretty special. There's a good number of wellness practitioners on our team, you and me and Dr. Mariza, who we both joined with. And who else is on our team? We have a little team in Hawaii. We've got somebody in New Zealand, and we got somebody in Idaho. We've got California.
Lisa's in Denver.
We've got Colorado represented now.
She's a health coach.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Awesome. Yeah, Lisa, do you want to come on and talk a little bit about why you decided to, I'm putting you on the spot. If you want to, you can come on and talk about why you decided to do it, and maybe some of your ideas for how to get things started. If you want. You can say in the chat if you want.
You can say no if you don't want to, Lisa. Not
no. I'm so bold about talking. I was on a call the other day, and I was in my sauna, and I was like, no, I'll talk.
Oh my gosh, good for
my
you.
sauna just is like, you could still see.
I need a sauna.
It's not full exposure. I know. Having a sauna is fantastic. I really recommend it. Any other questions, guys? If you're feeling shy, just type it in the chat and we'll answer it. We'll answer it out loud.
Lisa, would you mind me telling not your whole story, but just like where you're at in business stuff and why you chose to come on with doTERRA? Or just yay, no? Okay. So Lisa, I know personally, and she is kind of at a crossroads in her business life. So she was looking for ways to supplement her income, and that aligned very similar to Bridget and I aligned with her beliefs on wellness. So she's a health coach. She's a specialized health coach. I forget what it's called, but she's a specialized health coach, and she has been using oils for a long time. So when I met her, she already had like 100 oils, I think, already. And she signed on with me as first just a customer, and she, just loved using the oils. And then when this transition in her business came about, she's like, I want to be an advocate. And so that's kind of where she's at. So
awesome. Yeah. And so many people start as customers and just fall in love with the oil. So that's a great story. I found another resource I'm going to share with you guys. 1 second. So this is what's called the Build Guide. Let me come back over here. And this is another reason I joined doTERRA. So I was definitely in that trading time for dollars model that 95% of people are, maybe 99, where it's like you always have to work hard to earn some money. And the nice thing about doTERRA is it becomes kind of predictable passive income. So in my career, I really haven't saved much for retirement. I worked for myself my entire career. So there was no retirement plan for me. So I put a little money away, but not much. And I'm 44. It's time for me to think about that. So I really like the idea of income that, keeps coming along. Not that you stop working on your business, but the business changes, and then like the money just gets more predictable, which is really great. The idea of kind of, instead of walking to get water, you build a pipe. That's kind of the idea here. And I'm hoping I can show you a page. Here's their headquarters with, here's some things about rank that we're not going to get into too much today, but I can include this build guide or some of the guides for you in the email afterwards. I'm hoping there's a page. Here's the thing, a little thing about goals. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, some people I've met on our team are trying to save money so their kids can go to college, which is great. Sorry, someone's mowing my lawn. I hope it's not too noisy. Oh, here's a good one. So these are kind of the 3 types I wanted to talk about. Let me close this chat. Can you see that chat? Okay. Some people just get, earning a little money to get, be part of the community, get their products paid for, just putting in a few hours a week. People who are looking to more like get a bigger chunk of income, maybe putting in more like 10 to 15 hours a week. I think I'm putting in 10 hours a week, I would guess, if I had to add it up, but not every week. But I think maybe that's what I'm doing. I'm in this like silver to gold category right here. And then replace the income. If you're making 30 grand a month on doTERRA, you've got a business to manage, and you still may not be putting in full time. You can have a flexible schedule and be with your kids, but you're managing more people with more questions. You're becoming a leader, so you're probably putting in more time. So mostly this happens gradually, right?
Well, the interesting thing is, though, is like, I mean, if you're looking at the income potential for that replace your income, and the max you might be working is only 30 hours, that's like what is so attractive to me about it. Because most of the time, if you're making that amount of money, you're working way more than 15 to 30 hours. So, and not being able to work from home. So that's why I love it so much.
Yeah, there's really good potential. And I don't know about you, Erin, but most people when they start, they don't say, oh, I want to like make 15 grand a month. It's almost like they can't conceptualize it.
They can't even believe it could happen. They're like, that's so much money. How could that ever happen? Yeah.
Yeah. So most people say, well, I'd like to make a little extra money, or this or that is my goal. But as you kind of spend more time in doTERRA, you'll you'll meet people who are making this money, and they're just regular people. They're not special people. They're regular old people.
Yep.
So it's definitely possible, but it does happen slowly for most people. So you have to kind of be content with it going slowly. And again, your reason for doTERRA may just be because you love the oils. You don't ever want it to be a big responsibility. You always want it to be a couple hours a week. But as you start to like get to know the company better, get to know the system, you may open up to that earning potential even more. And here's a little bit, they do have materials about how, Lisa, this might be good for you. They do have different training materials about, basically it's about teaching classes, teaching people one-on-one, presenting them with the opportunity, sharing the options for oils and kits, and hopefully they become a wholesale customer. And then you keep teaching them. You teach them about more of the products and the vitamins, which is something I'm doing in my business. So there is support. It's mostly about reaching out to grab it. Many people haven't been an entrepreneur, and it's a little scary. Erin sure embraced it pretty well, but the resources are there. There's a million YouTube videos. There's lots of ways to learn with doTERRA. There's lots of trainings. It's just a matter of like reaching out and seeing which ones you prefer.
And what I love about it is it's really not hard, because it really is just about sharing what you're passionate about. So I always tell my builders that come on with me is like, what are your favorite oils? That's what you talk about. Like, who is your audience? What would they need? Even if your favorite oils might not be what the audience you're talking to needs, bring the oils you love, but then bring the oils that could help the audience you're talking to. And that's how people do amazing in this job, because you're serving those people. You're giving them the best possible oils that will work for them. And that's what people want and need.
Yeah, they want solutions. They want solutions because they can't sleep, because they can't lose weight, because their kid often people start with oils for colds and flus, I find. Maybe you do too, Erin, because they've heard of that. It's kind of like when I was an acupuncturist. Well, I have back pain. Like, they show up for pain because they've heard of that. But can it treat everything? Yeah, I can't. Yeah. So maybe they'll show up for some of those simple things. And then you're like, oh, did you know you can use it to work with your hormones and that kind of a thing?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's what I love about it is a lot of people, like you said, do the pain. So they love the deep blue, and we start them with that. But then they're like, oh, is there an oil for immunity? Is there an oil if I have a cold? Is there an oil for sleep? Is there an oil for anxiety? And there really is kind of an oil for everything. It's like, oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. I love it. And there's a lot of other products too. So, yeah. And thanks so much, everyone, for being here. Let's see, Erin, do you have anything else you want to share? Any other questions?
I don't think so. If anyone's watching that knows me, you guys, we gave you our calendar and our links, so you can schedule with us there so we can talk more if you have more questions. And if you have any more questions before we hop off, just put them in the chat box now. But we appreciate all of you guys coming.
I'm going to just repost those because I got a little very, but I would say too, like, don't be shy. Like, if you decide, oh, it's not the right time for me, it's okay. Like, we want it to be a fit. So if you just want to explore it, then come explore it. No, it's just a conversation. It's just an education. We'll kind of explore your goals and answer any questions you have about the company. Erin and I have a lot of background in training, and we believe in doTERRA. Like, it's multi-level marketing, but the product is so amazing and the community is so amazing that, sometimes you have to like get comfortable with that concept. I have a lot of business opportunities. I have a pretty big business, but doTERRA to me is something special. The products are so special that I included it, and Erin did it well. So we expect, you'll probably have some hesitations about this or that. So we can talk about all that as well. So that's helpful.
I love talking about doTERRA. So just book that time with me. So
awesome. So we'll put that in the email. And if you decide to book with us and you decide to become a wellness advocate, we'll get you those gifts to get started, and you'll get a lot more than that because we'll keep training you. you hope we can come to convention. There's regional trainings going on right now. Oh, I will put those in the notes as well.
Oh yeah, because the convention is really, it's really amazing. When you get there, it's so much fun. Like the energy is great, and like we said, you meet so many like-minded people that understand how amazing essential oils are. And then you get to be introduced to some of the new oils that might be coming out for the year. So it's just a lot of fun, a lot of great learning too.
Yeah, and I'll share this local resource. It's called Healthy Habits for Life. It's a tour that's going across the country. So if you don't want to like make a last minute decision to go to convention, because you kind of have to decide quick, you can go to this event called Healthy Habits for Life. There's two parts. The afternoon part is a business training. It's only $10. And then the evening part is a product training, and it's free. So if you just want to explore the company more, there are many, many cities it's in. This is Northeast, Southeast, Central, Mountain. Is this where I am? Where are they? Where's me? I don't know where I am. Oh, Mesa, Arizona.
So Bridget, how would you explain what this is exactly, what you're showing them now? This is not the convention we were talking about that takes place in Salt Lake. This is like a special healthy habit.
This is what they call a tour. So twice a year, doTERRA tours and has small events around the country. And this one is sort of before the convention and after. So this is about some products you can use every day to have healthy habits. So using the Deep Blue instead of Advil, taking your vitamins, using some basic essential oils. So you'll learn about that at these events, about the product. If you buy a kit of those there, you get a free Copaiba, which is a really special and popular oil in doTERRA. So there is a purchase opportunity, but ultimately it's just like a free training opportunity. And then the business thing is, again, you'll see here $10. So if you want to learn, Lisa, hopefully you can go to this one. Learn about your strengths that can propel you in your business, how to be more comfortable sharing the business, that kind of a thing. That's a 3-hour training, and then there's a 2-hour training open to the public on products. So all this is open to the public. I see kids there, like it's very family friendly. Just go after work, or if you can cut out a little early for the business training, I will include this link as well. So it's a nice way to like just get to know the company on a more like in-person
personal basis.
Yeah, you'll see some of the leaders, you'll see some of the how do you call executives or account managers, and doTERRA will be speaking. So it's kind of cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate your time and coming on, and we'd love to meet you, whether you're here live or you watch this later. We'd love to meet you on a call. We'll keep that. Love for you to schedule, I would say, please try to schedule by next week, and then make sure that if you can make a decision this month, and that we'll get you those bonuses. If you talk to us now and you schedule 2 years from now, we might not remember what you're talking about.
We'll be like, which bonuses were those? I don't know.
Yeah. So if you want to talk to us and decide to sign up in April, then we have those bonuses for you. Great. Thanks again, everyone. Take care.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.